I'm Liz, and I blog over at the Quick Journey blog where I share my journey as a mother of 4 kiddos and a homeschooling mom and a wife. So I was asked to be part of this e-course, and I was so excited to jump on board because homeschooling has been a definite journey for me. We didn't plan on homeschooling, and now we are, and we absolutely love it. So I'm excited to share with you today my favorite subject to teach, and it's also one of the favorite subjects of my kiddos to learn, and they get excited for it because we incorporate so many different aspects of education in this one subject. So first of all, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background. I have 4 kiddos. I have a baby who is almost 8 months old, a 2-year-old, a preschooler who is almost 5, and a 7-year-old who is in first grade. So they're kind of scattered throughout the ages, and it is a lot of fun and also very tiring to be on this journey with the kiddos, but we are all having so much fun. So I'm going to tell you my favorite subject, and that would be writing. And the reason is because you can do so much with it, and you can be so creative, and it's really all about what you're looking to get out of it and what your kids are capable of and what they enjoy. So I love that when I teach writing, we can kind of nail down some things that we've learned throughout the past few weeks or lessons regarding science, history, geography, anything. If we've learned something about a musician or an artist, if my kids have a certain area that they are gravitating towards. My daughter, she is 7, she's my first grader, and she has been in love with sparrows lately. She read a book about sparrows and has been telling us all this information she's learned. So we did a writing prompt about sparrows, and she got to write about it and do part of the brainstorming for the writing project, and then she got to illustrate and present it. So there's just a lot of great stuff that you can do with writing, and I'm going to show you how I teach writing for my kids. Now, I'm just going to tell you that we do writing with our language, we do writing with our phonics program, so they do a lot of writing other than just the specific writing program that I do, but this is what we do specifically for writing. Okay, so first of all is I choose a subject. So Isabella was really liking sparrows, and we did something on sparrows. We've also been reading a lot about the Christian faith. So we have also written about the Christian faith and people that we discovered through that, and science, animals, the history, because we looked about presidents around President's Day. So anything that you're learning, you can make that part of your writing project. So you choose a subject as a mama, whatever you think is best. If you're feeling very generous, you can let the child choose, but I feel like it just goes better if I choose the subject. Then you're going to brainstorm. The way we do that is on just a simple whiteboard, just like this. They love writing with whiteboard markers. It's different for them. It's something other than just paper. So that really helps them to feel like it's kind of special. And so they write something. We brainstorm what we might talk about with that topic. And then I write the sentence perfectly. And I do this because I feel like copy work is very important. I had a homeschool mentor who told me it's better to write one thing perfectly than to write something 50 times and it not be perfect. So we practice writing things perfectly for our writing program. There are other times she has a journal. The kids have journals that they write on just for fun, and things aren't always perfect in there. But for our writing, we do it perfectly. So I write it on this, and then I'll set it on the table and give them, or my daughter, she's the one that does most of the writing, a piece of paper, and that is what this is right here. I don't know if you can see that very good. I drew lines on it, and I make copies. I suggest using cardstock because whenever you go to do your artwork up here, your illustration, it's just better if you're using paints, if you're using oil pastels, whatever you're using, it just comes off better on cardstock. And then if you want to frame it or hang it up in your schoolroom, it just holds up better. So I give her this paper and she will copy it. She will copy it perfectly down here, and if anything's wrong, then we always correct it. She never gets to move on until it's written the way it's supposed to. She gets to practice how to write neatly. If we are working on cursive, then she will do cursive. My preschooler, he's working on 3-letter words and 4-letter words, so we might even just do a word, say cat. So he would practice writing cat perfectly, and then he could illustrate a picture of a cat up here. And the artwork is always supposed to be neat as well. They're not going to be perfect with the artwork, but I just want it to be something you can obviously tell it's a cat or, you know, a sparrow or whatever. So that is how we do that. Then my kids will present them to their dad or someone, a friend or something like that, so that they can get used to speaking about their written work as well. So that is how we do. We brainstorm, I pick a topic, we brainstorm, and I write it perfectly on the whiteboard. Then I give them the paper, and they write it themselves, and then we illustrate. Here's an example. We used paint on this one, and I picked a picture out of a book that we were working on, and she did the artwork based upon that picture. It was supposed to look similar to that. This is one she did last year. And then this is one, we were learning about lords and how they built castles to protect their people, and she used colored pencil on this one. Another thing I love about this, I called a program, it's just something I made up, but another thing I love about the way we do writing is I can also incorporate art. So I can touch many different subjects through writing. I can touch science, history, just something they have a passion about. We can write it, so we're touching on writing, we're touching on capitalization at the beginning, so we can, you know, talk about grammar and punctuation at the end. And then we do a drawing and have art. They can use any kind of, you know, I can switch it up. We can use colored pencils one week. The next week we can work with oil pastels. We can do watercolor. We can do just regular paints. It's whatever I feel like we need to be working on. And markers, anything. So it's very versatile, and it just helps us to touch a bunch of different subjects within this one subject that we use. Now, like I talked about earlier, if you have younger kids, preschool or kindergartners, you can have them write one word and illustrate it. Or you can have them write, as a kindergartner, maybe I like cats instead of just cats, and have them illustrate it. When you get to first grade, I start doing one sentence, one shorter sentence, like I like sparrows, or I like brown cats or something, and have them illustrate that. When you get to second grade, I normally have them do 2 to 3 sentences. So my first grader, she does 2 to 3 sentences because she loves writing and she's fairly decent at it. So she does 2 to 3 sentences, and then she will illustrate. If you get up to 3rd and 4th grade, you can make your sentence, write it out, cut the words apart, and have them put the sentence in the right order. So if you're learning a Bible verse, or if you're learning about presidents, you can put, George Washington was the first president, and cut it up and have them rearrange it. So they get to do several different things, then have them write it down and illustrate it. So there's lots of different things you can do in writing, and that's one of the reasons I absolutely love it. As far as how many times we teach it during the week, it all depends on how in-depth we're going, what we're using for the artwork, for the illustration. If it's watercolors, a lot of times we have to do 2 different days to let the paint dry. And so typically it takes 2, possibly 3 days a week to do one of our writing projects. And it doesn't take very long during each lesson. I kind of call them mini lessons, so maybe like 15 minutes. But it's enough that they get to practice writing well. They get to draw and do a little bit of arts or crafts, and they really like that. And it makes them feel super special to get to use other forms of art supplies, like the oil pastels. They love that because they get to smear it with their finger. So it's just a fun subject for everybody. I came up with this system for teaching basically because I wanted something hands-on. I wanted something that could, reach many subjects so that I could nail down things that we are working on, and it could kind of be like studying. It's just an extension of what we're already learning in other subjects. So that's why I decided to do it this way. It's simple. It's easy for me to prepare. It's not something that I spend hours doing or have to buy a ton of supplies in order to make the lesson work. So it's simple, it's easy, it's fun. The kids love it. And it's something that I can put in a workbook or in a folder for them to look at later, and we can see progress. We can see where they started with one word and moved on to 2 or 3 sentences. So it just shows progress, and it's a great thing to keep, easy thing to store and keep for later, for records, and just, so your kids can see it later on. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little video. I hope that you fall in love with homeschooling the way that we do. It doesn't have to be complicated and confusing. It can be as simple as you want it to be. And sometimes the things that are the most simple are the things that the kids love and that work the best for teaching them. So keep it easy. Make sure that you enjoy it and really just dive into this journey along with them. And I wish you all the best. Thanks.